So it wasn't showing me I was live. So if you are new to the channel, we create with all recycled materials and all with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I am very grateful to have you on board. It's completely free. Jump on board, join us, and share with us too what earth-friendly projects you're doing, what you like to do. And, you know, I really do want to get more organic projects on the channel. So I'm very excited for today's project. Now, I did a little research and I was looking out there, although I've seen it so many different times, all the different ways that you can make your granny square hats. And so there's, you know, you can make tiny little squares, and I'm going to make one like that too. And you can make the one that I usually make are the panels. You have four granny squares on the bottom, and then you have your crown. So with that, what I did today is I was playing around with experimenting a little bit. I wanted to see what would happen if I made a granny square and then I just started to round it. So it's really cutesy. I like the way it came out. I'm going to show you this in a moment. But first I'll explain some of the other type of granny square hats that they make. They make the hats where you're just crocheting a hat and then you add your little granny squares at the bottom. So that's really cute too. The granny squares go very quickly. So this hat that I was making this afternoon to share with you is not one that I would recommend, and I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, it is adorable, but it took a while, and the way that this would be worn, well, first of all, I'm just going to tie this off because for me, I'm done. And then we'll make some granny squares together, and you'll see how fast that they go. But the reason I was trying to make like just one granny square hat is because what they have out there are grannies. They'll call them granny square hats, and I kind of disagree with them on that because on a few of these styles. And so the styles where, yes, they have the granny squares making up the hat is definitely a granny square hat. There's no doubt about it. But the ones where they are using 3 double crochet in a row and then calling that a granny square hat, to me is not a granny square hat. So what I was trying to do was make, and you can see it, you see the granny square? Hi, how are you? Dulce, hi, how are you? So here, thank you for being here. So there's the granny square. And granny squares are so forgiving because you can forget to put a little cluster of the 3 double crochets and you can still continue. I think I did that here. Hi, Abadette. Hi. Good. How about you? Thank you for being here. And yeah, I did a video, by the way, over on Vermont Sun and Shade, and on the just the progress of the basil roots, and I'm also doing peppermint roots. But in that, I gave the some of the events going on here tomorrow in Vermont, and you know which one I'm talking about, across the nation. I don't want it to mention it too much in this channel, but yes, I would say that we all need to have our prayers going right now, big time, for our nation and each other. But with that said, crocheting is a wonderful way to meditate. It really is, to be in prayer, to kind of get your mind nice and relaxed, get in a good place, because there's a lot outside in our world not in a good place. So anyway, with this, what I know about rounding is, so when I got to round, what I wanted to do was a full granny square. So I could call this a granny square hat, because just the three clusters of 3 double crochets, that's a stitch. Okay, you can use that stitch along with other stitches to create many different designs, but it doesn't mean that it's a granny square hat. The granny square hat is creating the square, where you create a circle in the square, you create a little flower in the square. It's a square. Granny square, okay? So with that said, I went ahead and I made the granny square as big as I thought I wanted it to be, until I would start rounding it in so that the brim would be like a beanie. But look, the way you have to wear this, let me show you something. It's got, this really is like a beret or a slouchy. That's what this came out to be. So you put it on, it's not going to be like that. You're going to put it on, and it's going to just kind of be, whoops, sorry. This, my nail got caught in there. And oh, my hair is popping right through it. My hair is so weird. One day it's curly, the next day it's, I can't even explain it. Anyway, let me try this again. So this hat I would wear like this. This is how I would wear it. And I really do like that. I'm going to be honest. I like it like that. But see how I'm pulling it down? That's how I like, and I would even, see, you can see it's slouchy, like the granny square is coming down. If I was trying to follow a pattern and make this, it would not work. I'm just telling you right now. I don't follow patterns, but if I did this again, and to tell you how to do this, this is how I would tell you to do it. So first of all, I would make the granny square, like you want to make it the crown of the size of the basic crown of the head, which is about 8. Let's see what this comes out. This granny square is, yeah, look, I didn't even measure it before. It's like 8, okay? That's what you want, because that's from up here, the top of the head, to here. So you want to make it about 8 inches, okay? You want across. That's what you want for your square. And when you start rounding your square, just instead of two sets of the 3 double crochets, go to 1. That's all you need to do. Go to 1. And then just do 1, 1, 1. And as you're curving it, like I did, just use different stitches to pull it in and curve it. You know what I mean? So you can wear it. Now, actually, if I went maybe another inch here of some really tighter stitches, because look, when you start curving it, maybe go use a smaller crochet hook, okay? And that will naturally curve it. So anyway, that's how I did this hat. I'm not crazy about this. I might work on the design a little bit more, but this really is a granny square hat. This is a granny square. And then it's just rounded at the brim. Okay, so now that's one way to make a granny square hat, okay? And there's so many ways, but the way that I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a lot of fun with these granny squares, okay, and with these colors, okay? So I have 3 colors here. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have the yarn that I used to have. I do have a few of these. These are the same type of acrylics, okay? I have this, which is like an Angora. This is very nice. This just a little bit though. And then I have these, as many of you have seen these already. Got these at the thrift shop, and they're 100% wool from Peru. That's what these are. These are gorgeous. And they're a little bit thicker, and because they're real wool, they're not soft. Like this one I just used to make this granny square hat. This granny square hat I might work on a little bit more and just keep it for myself. That's not one that I want to make and sell. It just, maybe in time, if I feel I can get a little quicker at it. Bye-bye, Granny. Granny says bye-bye. Okay, so this one, this is nice and soft. This is a beautiful, I think it's a merino wool, but it's super soft. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is start with this. So this is kind of a medium thick. This is actually called chunky. It's, in my opinion, it's not like a heavy chunky, but it's like a medium. So what I'm gonna do is, I think what I'm gonna do is make a granny square with these two colors, and then some granny squares with these two colors, and just see, I might mix and match when I build the hat. And, but the way you build the hat, basically, let me just tell you, is you want to get a model. This one is rather large, and so because this is a male model, so this is like a 22, 23, which is a large, which is fine if I want to make large hats. It is. But what I typically do is place the granny square on the model head. I need to get a smaller model head, and my others are in the store. So let's get started on this. And so in real time, this goes so fast, let me tell you. And in the afternoon like this, for having your nice cup of coffee, and thank you for being with me, by the way. I appreciate it. I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys. You are also very talented. You know, you come here and watch my videos, and I'm hoping, yes, that you're getting some inspiration, some ideas. And I really appreciate. So now what I'm going to do is use a J. Okay, so this is a J hook. Let's see if you can see. It will say on your crochet hook what it is, a J. And the number 10 is equivalent to J, because sometimes you'll hear 10, sometimes you'll hear J. So what I'm going to do is a very simple, I'm going to do 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do 5. I kind of like to do 5, but 4 is fine. And then slip stitch them together, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 3. You're going to do chain 3. That represents a double crochet. And then you're going to do 1 double crochet, and then you're going to do 2 double crochet. This is for those of you who do not know how to make the granny squares. It's super duper easy. If you know a few of your stitches, you can do this, because I'm using double crochets. You can use other stitches. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to do another set, sorry about that, of double crochet. So that is 1, 2, and 3. And what I want is 4 sets all together. So I've got 2. So now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going right smack in the center of my, a lot of people call it the magic circle. I just call it the little, the center. Okay, 1, double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. And then I'm going to do my last set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do chain 2, and guess what? We've completed our first round. Because what you're going to do here is just slip stitch right here. Let me see if I can show you, because a lot of people get mixed up here. I'm turning it around so you can see. Right at the top of your beginning stitch, you did 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. So go to the top of that. That's where you're going to slip stitch this in, is that 3rd chain. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3. And if you feel you're not at the top of it, just take a really good look at it. If it's not even, then try it again. Maybe you're just a stitch off. And then we're going to disconnect that. Disconnect. Sounds a little technical. We're going to tie that off. Okay, now we have 2 tails that we can tuck in like right now, or you can use an embroidery needle. I'm just going to put them to the side for the minute. And they're a little long, but use an embroidery needle to kind of weave them in and out in the back so they don't find their way out. Okay, so this one I'm just going to tuck in the stitches and bring it all the way over so it's not just too much in our way. And they don't need to be super long, but they just need to be, and these will get tucked in all the way after I finish the granny square. So, okay, I just want you to check this out. Look how adorable that is. This is a granny square. What I'm saying is you could stop right here. This is a granny square. Okay, you see the back of it? You have your 4 corners right there. Okay. Now, so you can stop there, or you can take another color and add to it. And then you can go back and forth like that with your colors. Now, to add to this, you're going to pick a space in one of your corners, okay, and do a little slip knot so you secure it. Don't put it through the stitches, put it through the space, like the whole space, okay, and make sure you have enough of a tail, and then give it a little slip knot, and then you're going to do, and just pull it, and then you're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, that again, that's how you begin. That represents your first double crochet. So then you're going to do now a regular, as you would do, double crochet. Okay, and then you're going to do another one. So your 3 chains there represent 1 double crochet, and then you did 2 more. Now you're going to do chain 2. You're going back into that same space right there, and you're going to do 3 double crochets. So you're doing your little sets of double crochets is what you're doing. And you're going to do 2. You're going to do 2 sets in each of these corners. Now I'm going to do chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going in my next space here. And some people do chain 3. Some do chain 3 between here and there. I just keep it at 2 at this point. It seems to work pretty good. So now I just did 3 double crochets again, and I'm going to do chain 2, and I'm going right back into the same space because I want another set of double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's my second set of double crochets. Now I'm going to do chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going into my third space. And you can, and this, I'm just going to tell you the size right here that this comes out to is absolutely, seriously adorable. I made this in a bag in this size, and I'll show you the bag. I use it to do grocery shopping. I do use it. I like it, so I don't use it like, I don't want to wear it out, but I do use it infrequently. So you're doing this in each corner. You're doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, going back in the same space, and doing another set of your double crochets. But look how fast this whole thing is. And look how adorable the colors are. Now, I got this yarn at a thrift shop, and I'm going to tell you right now, I know 100% yarn from Peru. And it is not $5 for 4 of them, okay? It's expensive. And nowadays, I could be spending $13 for each of these. I'm just so thrilled that I got this. So with this double crochet, I was talking and I added a stitch. I made a what they call a treble, triple, a triple treble. And Tunisian is beautiful. We're gonna make, and Tunisian I think is like, the Tunisian crochet stitches is something like this granny square stitching, because it goes super fast. It just does. It's especially in length because those stitches are long. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2, and I am doing the very same thing I did with my green. I'm just going to the very top of my where I started my chain and doing little slip stitch. I'm going to cut this off, and this is cutesy. I wanted more earth tones for my granny squares, so okay, now I can go back to green, or I can use, now the one thing I don't want to do, but you can do this, and I did this a lot with a lot of my hats, is I changed weight size of the yarn. So I went to thin, thick, textured, whatever, the confetti yarn, and mix it in. But you can change the yarns back and forth. And now, because this is going to be a hat, I think I'll go back to my green, and I can tell you right now, with these 2 skeins, I'm going to have just enough to make all 5 of my granny squares. So now with this, now the granny square is a little bit larger, you see, and we have this as a center. So I'm going to show you this row, this round, because you're going to end up with 2 spaces. So now we do the same thing. We look in the corner, and we're going to use the space between our 2 sets of our double crochets. And we're just going to pull this through and do a slip knot. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay? So we do that. That represents your first double crochet. And then we just continue as we have been doing, is we make a second double crochet, and then we make a third double crochet, and then we do chain 2, and we go right back into that same space, and we make 3 double crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, and this is a really nice thick yarn. This is the type of yarn that is definitely, this is going to be a winter hat. Let's see, did I do 3? Yes, I did. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going into my space, my very next space. And there's my very next space. Now in this space, I am not doing 2 sets of double crochet. I'm doing a 1. Okay, I just did 3 double crochets or 1 set of 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going in this space. Now you see, you know your corner spaces, so I'm doing it backwards for you. I'm sorry about that, because I have it facing me, but so I'll turn it around here. So now I'm going to do 3 double crochet. So I went in the corner space, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to chain 2. I'll turn this around for you in a second, and I'm going right back into my corner space, and I'm going to double crochet. I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, I'm on my second one, now I'm on my third. Okay, now I'm going to turn this around so you can see. So, okay, if you by any chance, this kind of just happened here, is no big deal. Let's say your tails are falling into the front, just pull them in the back, because that's kind of what's happening there. And the same with this, just pull it in the back. This one is super long, so I'm just gonna snip those a little bit there. But look at that, is that just not too cute? So, okay, so I'm going to continue, and I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then in this middle space, I am doing 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm chaining 2, and I'm going now into my corner space. Now I want to show you what happens when you have a couple of spaces between your corner spaces, because it's not difficult, and it just is super easy. You just, basically as long as you stay with your concept, right, of your corner space, your corners having your 2 sets of double crochets, of 3 double crochets each, and then in between your corner spaces you have 1 set of double crochet. You're going to be totally fine. That will guide you, okay? Because you can see what's happening. See how there's 2 spaces now? Okay, and there's your corners. So every time you hit a corner, you're going to do 2 sets of your double crochets. You know, 3, 1 set of 3 double crochet, second set of 3 double crochet. And then when you hit the space, so like here, we're going to hit the space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. Same with this. And that's pretty much the pattern, and then you can switch it up any way you want, because you can use different stitches, okay? They don't have to be double crochet. You may have to experiment a little bit if you run into little glitches, but pretty much, and you know, I've tested this out. Instead of starting with chain 3 for my very first double crochet, I started with just a regular double crochet. It was fine. It's just a spacing thing, but it's totally fine. So you can do that. Okay, so you can experiment, I mean, a little bit. When I do creative crochet, and I've taught creative crochet, I'm teaching the concept. I'm teaching inches, spacing, curving, kind of abstract art type deal going on. So, okay. So now I am doing 3 double crochet. And in between each of this, I just do chain 2. I think there's some people out there who kind of do chain 3 and then they switch to chain 2. I don't. I do chain 2. I'm going to close that phone 1 second, please. Sorry about that. So then I got chain 2. And there. Now I'm going to tie that off. Now this size is typically not the size that I work with, okay? It's a little bit smaller. I usually do another round. But because of time, and you're kind of seeing how I'm doing that, I'm just going to show you. I should have brought my pins, but I just want to show you on a model head, and this is a larger one. But the way you make these as big as you want, okay? This probably needs 2 more rows. So I'll be working on this off of the video, and I'll do a couple of more rows, and then I'm going to place it here. So with a couple of more rows, you're going to see it, yeah, it will be, you know, bigger. So it will cover a good part of the crown, okay? And then what I'm going to, I'll end up pinning it on the top. And then I'm going to take my other 4 panels and I will pin them onto the model head like this, straight around. It will only take 4 of these to get you at least, if you get to a diameter of 20, 21, remember it will stretch to like 21, 22. It'll be plenty big enough. So if you've got it 19, 20, that's good, because you're always going to get that stretch with your crochet. Now, I typically will put it on something like this and then start stitching them right on the model head. I have also, before I had the styrofoam model heads, I just simply placed the panels back to back, and then I just stitch. And I still do that too. You can do it like that. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and share with you how to make a granny square. And I hope that this encourages you, inspires you. And I will jump back on here. The other thing I'm making is I want to make some more of the little pins and the little magnets for the refrigerator. And I've ended up, I have to make 4 more little gnome hats. So I have to do 4 more because I've got to have 12, 13, 12 definitely for the class. So I'll probably just make like 1 more. So if anyone's interested, you're in Vermont, coming through, you want to jump on board with that needle felting class, come on. It's at, it's at River Arts in Morrisville, Vermont, and we're more than happy to have you. And they do have financial assistance. So with that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer. If you're trying something special or different, you're experimenting, I totally encourage that. And yeah, you know, I'm looking at this because if I had orange in this weight yarn, I would be making a chakra hem. So you could do that too. Anyway, with that, you have an absolutely beautiful day. A love and light.